Yes, I think I like it.
Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Cards, dude, presented by Houston Card Exchange. What's up?
What up?
Hello, Brent. Hello, Brandon.
Hey, how you doing tonight, man?
Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. So today we have Mike Olson with Mike Olson Art, and so he has some really incredible just pieces of art in sports card form, which I think is awesome, and the way that he presents his, I don't know, just the way that you present everything is just really, really nice as well too, as far as like on your Instagram and in different places. And the thought that goes into kind of the packaging and stuff like that is really, really cool. And so
that's all actually my wife. We work together on these, and it's a really fun way to get to work together. But yeah, she does all the packaging. Does an amazing job at it, and I get to do the card part. But it's been really great for us to get to work together to kind of do all this.
That's awesome. So
you notice, because I personally love the packaging.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I had nothing to do with it.
Nice little touch.
Where does the bazooka come from? Is that just the kind of the bazooka, just kind of
a nod to the gum, you know?
Hey.
The nostalgia of it and stuff like that.
And we just always loved that nostalgic gum in the pack kind of thing. So she decided that was going to definitely be a part of the packaging. It's interesting because when I first started doing these, I was kind of using this bulky boxes, whatever was around the house to pack these, because I didn't really know what I was doing or where this was going. And she was really working behind the scenes. I had no idea she was like kind of coming up with this until she sprung it on me one day and was like, check out what I came up with. And it blew my mind. And it's not only just an elegant way of showing the cards, but there's just so many cool things wrapped up in it. That's our story, and just really fun. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
That's awesome. So I'm going off topic already, but I saw that you did two cards that were for, I guess, a brother that was
today.
And so those are really cool as well too. And so that I just wanted to say that those were cool and kind of give that a shout out. And so if anybody sees this, or they listen to this, go and check out his Instagram and just check out the post. And then I think he had a video post as well too.
Yeah, I try and put up as many, I try and do a post where I describe what I've done. I try and do a post where I show part of the process, and that's usually the painting part, because
that's cool. Out
of all the parts of making these cards, that's kind of the easiest one to capture on film. So I do that, and then I do a couple of things where I put it in a thing of gum sometimes. I put it, with the packaging all laid out. So I try and like present it the same way every time. But yeah, today's reveal was a fun one because it was a challenge because it was pretty much the same card twice. And the scale of the players on that one was particularly small. But the whole concept behind it was the one brother was getting it for another brother for their 40th birthday. And it was their two favorite players growing up, which is just a really cool story to get to be a part of.
That's awesome, man.
It was a nice touch.
Yeah, that is awesome. So who is Mike Olson, and how did you end up making handmade sports cards?
It's me. And I've been an artist, since I was probably 2-3 years old. I remember a picture of me with an art bin that my mom made up for me when I was little. And I've just been doing any kind of art, since then. And where the cards kind of came in was I've always been a sports fan. My wife's always been a sports fan. But I had just a regular design job where I was working in kind of pharma advertising, doing stuff that had nothing to do with really illustration or sports art or anything like that. But I got laid off in, I think, 2014. And instead of kind of like freaking out and being too super worried about it, my wife thought it was a really good opportunity for me to kind of focus in on the art and do anything I could to take the chance to kind of do that full time.
That's awesome.
And she bought me this like big this box arrived at our house, and it just had all this art supplies in it. And one of the things that was in it were these watercolor cards. And I opened them up. Let's see. And they ended up being like exactly the size of a baseball card.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
So, my kind of love of sports and this, little piece of paper here, it kind of clicked in my head. And I think for maybe a couple of weeks straight, all I did every day was get up and try and finish a new baseball card. And I think I did 64 of them, which was quite a bit.
What was the first one? Do you remember?
The first one was actually one that I don't have anymore. I think I lost it, but it was, I needed like a profile picture for Instagram or for something. And I decided I'd try and paint my head onto Honus Wagner's body.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. The tobacco card?
Yeah, paint me
Nice.
with one of those old cards. And it came out great. And that's what kind of got me into tobacco cards. And that's kind of the first cards I started to reproduce by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I kind of ran, like, I probably did 10 or 12 of those. And I was like, I got to do something a little bit different. And I started, that's when I started picking out Hall of Fame players. And I started kind of going in a new direction and doing those guys. But that's kind of where it all started. I put them up on Instagram, and really nobody noticed whatsoever. So after a year, I kind of stopped doing them. And that's when some of my music art kind of took off in a totally different direction. And I spent quite a few years just doing, music art that my wife Mary would turn into enamel pins. And we would take those and we sold them on an Etsy shop. I actually turned 10 years old this year. So it's, I think we started with maybe 6 to 12 enamel pins. And right now, I think we've got almost 200 items in our shop. So
that's cool.
Wow.
That kind of took off. And especially when COVID hit, I think a lot of people were nostalgic about the music they were missing, and the tiny pin tributes we were making really appealed to people. And we did really well during those COVID years. But as soon as everybody kind of went back to work and weren't on the computer all the time, that's when the music art started to take a downturn. And that's when the baseball card stuff kind of popped back up again in a little bit of serendipity, really.
Who sold well? Just on the music guys, I was just curious. Who was like, a genre or like a time period?
It really started with the 50 guitar players that we heard on the radio. And I just started drawing each one of those guitar players, and it was 50 of them. So I knew probably a good amount of them, but there was still a bunch that I wasn't super, familiar with. So, that kind of just took off in its own direction, which was really interesting. But we're from New Jersey. We're big Bruce fans.
That's what I figured.
We like Grateful Dead. We like Pink Floyd. We like a lot of classic rock. So that's where that shop kind of headed, before the sports art took back over.
That's cool.
Do you know how many of you, or like how many cards have you done since you started doing the sports cards?
No, that's a great question. I actually decided to count before we got on the show just to make sure that if you asked me that, I'd actually know.
That's awesome.
And so the first series I made was that 2014, time period, and I made 64 cards in that period. Took a whole bunch of years off, and then when I started remaking these, it's 2023 is when that kind of started again. I made 59 cards with series 2, and right now I'm on series 3, and I'm up to 30 cards. So in total, I've got about 153 cards under my belt.
Wow,
that's cool.
Badass.
Have you thought about like printing them like on actual baseball cards and like having like little sets or something like that? Like, and not like a lot of them, but just like a short run of them.
About that, and we might even end up doing that at some point, because
takes the art out though. Brain does it. I don't know.
We've got a lot, but there's a part of these that are also super special because they're not printed. And,
exactly.
They're handmade, and we take a lot of pride in the handmade part of these, because I think that's where a lot of the soul comes from. Is the fact that when you get one of these in the mail and you've ordered one and we've gone through the whole process, what gets delivered to you has been touched by the two of us, every piece of it. None of this kind of came and we unboxed it and put it in another box. This was all, handmade. So
that's awesome.
We've had moments where we're like, we should make some prints of this. And then, the next day we're like, should we make prints of this? And so you never know.
Do you have like a physical location where y'all like have stuff do y'all sell, or is it all just online?
Right now it's just all online. We've thought about going to some card shows, but we've never actually done anything like that. So you never know. Maybe I'd end up at a card show in the future and might throw stuff on the table. But for now, people are just reaching out, which is great.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So who or what inspired you to choose like baseball and sports figures as your primary subjects?
I've just always loved baseball, and I've always been a big sports fan. Unfortunately, I'm a good example of how having a really bad Little League coach can really make a kid not want to stick with baseball. But I've been athletic my whole life, but just, a bad Little League experience made baseball something that I never really played a lot of, but always really loved. Yeah. And the card part of it was a way that I could kind of stay interested in baseball without having to play it. Yep. So I've always, my brother and I collected cards from a very young age, and awesome. We grew up, I was born in 1977, so we were collecting cards in the 80s, and if I knew how many cards I could have had collecting cards back then, I would have bought more basketball cards. I would have bought more of a lot of stuff. But
was it the Mets back then for you, or who?
I actually grew up in Connecticut, so
so a little higher. So
where we were had no sports team
affiliation. Yeah.
My dad has been a huge Red Sox fan his whole life. My brother's a big Red Sox fan. So naturally, it's like the family agitator. I had to be a Yankee fan.
Hey.
And my dad would just look at me like, where have I gone wrong with this kid? Like, what is going on?
How was that Buckner, though, for you? Did you get to have a little fun with that?
Yeah, my dad was very unhappy about that. I remember as a little kid, it's one of the times I've really seen him upset. When that happened. But no,
we were on the other side. We had the other side that got beat. So I feel his pain. 86 was bad for the Astros, but it was all good.
But yeah, he's a big Red Sox fan. I was a Yankee fan, and kind of after childhood, once I went to college, I lost kind of touch with baseball for a while. And when we both we moved back to Philly, we moved to this area, and kind of just needed something to do when we moved here. And we realized the stadium was like 10 minutes away.
Wow. So
we went to a game in 2006, which was just as the Phillies were kind of ramping up to be
Ryan Howard and all them, right? Yeah.
2008. So we started going to baseball games at kind of a really cool time we were. And that's kind of what is, helps set the ball in motion for a lot of what we're doing now. Because at the time we went to that first game, and I remember my wife got a scorebook, and I looked at her like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? I'd never used one. I've never filled one out at a game. And she did the score for the entire game we were there, and has since done a scorebook page for every game we have been to.
Nice.
And that's what, is the cool part about the box that we, the box that the cards come in have kind of a nod to that little bit of our story. And like, when you do get one of these cards, it's got this like little piece in it that's just like a little chunk of scorebook.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Like just a little bit, to touch on kind of our personal story. Because I love when everything can kind of tie together in some sort of little story when I make these, and I love that part of it.
You had a video where she had someone autograph it,
right? Jamie Moyer.
Okay.
What was it? Carlos Ruiz and Charlie Manuel. That was the first time we'd actually ever been to a card show, and we paid to get. I think it's this one back here. This is my Jamie Moyer card, and cool. We actually had him sign that.
Oh, that's dope.
Really cool experience. Because the first time I've ever gone to a card show, I had somebody actually sign one of the cards I made, which was really exciting.
Nice.
But yeah, she got her scorebook signed by a whole bunch of people that day. That was really cool. But that's the little bit of that package that's kind of like a little nod to that bit of our story together.
What do y'all do with your scorecards? Me and my wife, we have a kind of the same little thing, but it's like a little MLB passport that we bought, and we get it and get stamped, and that's what we've been doing in stadium. So I'm curious.
Yeah, she actually filled one up, which
That's cool.
When it's like this thick. But she started a second book. It got so full, but it's a little bit of history. Like we'll go through.
Okay, so you just run a normal one, and then you can like look back and see that's badass.
Yeah.
Now
that's cool because she'll write like sunny day, or guy in the next seat over started. Yeah, like, just little bits about the day where you.
That's badass. I like that.
I remember when that happened.
That's
pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah,
nice touch.
So, do you still collect cards, or is there things that you collect? You collect everything. You have. I mean,
I really probably at the moment the thing I collect the most of is books. I've got
What are you reading?
Books. At the moment, nothing.
Yeah.
I've been too busy, to be honest. But what I did was I wasn't a big reader in high school. And there was one book that my wife's mom gave to us that got me reading again. And I started reading all the books that I should have read better in high school. And I started reading a lot of the classics. Big Stephen King fan. I've, ever since that one book she gave me, I've probably read a good couple hundred books. And that's from somebody that just hated reading growing up. So you never know like what that one book might be that'll just like send you off in a completely different direction. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of books around the house that
there you go.
As things get increasingly more digital, I enjoy the books a lot more.
Right.
Awesome. So your work is incredibly detailed. Can you walk us through your process of working under a magnifying glass?
Yeah, it's interesting. I spend a lot of time kind of in this space here because everything is, like you said, super tiny. And everything, is on a scale where, if I breathe at the wrong time, if I lose focus for, a second, things can go really badly, really quickly.
Have you had to start over before?
I have. It doesn't happen very often, but I have definitely started over quite a few times. I've restarted a front, I think once. And it's mainly the backs where I will kind of have trouble. And there's a process that I've developed where I do the backs first.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Because of that reason.
You're ready. Like, come on.
Yeah. And I learned that because it's watercolor, if I do the front first, I put down so much water and paint, the card bends, and that makes the back harder to do. So I'll generally do the back first. But yeah, I've definitely made some mistakes. But yeah, it just requires, I guess, a lot of focus because, some of the faces I'm doing literally are the size of like a pencil eraser.
I know.
And so like if you lose focus for a second, an eyeball can turn into just a big blob sitting there. So I think just... I've kind of developed a process as I've done more and more of these to make them, either, cleaner, better line quality, better paint quality. But it really involved, like, they really start out as a very crude, like this is the Steph Curry card I just did.
Okay.
They start out as a really crude drawing. But the one thing that watercolor paint I've learned, just at least in my experience, graphite from a pencil makes watercolor look terrible the second they mix. And when you've got a player's face that's super tiny like that, a little bit of pencil graphite can turn the guy's whole face into just kind of a muddy mess. So I do a lot of drawing kind of large at first, like that Steph Curry, and then I will scan that into the computer and kind of clean the drawing up by going over it again. And then I will print out the whole card basically on a transfer paper that is not graphite. So the second it gets onto that watercolor paper, no matter what color or water I get on it, it does not bleed. So I basically transfer that onto the card. I redraw it again. And then I get to paint it. So I draw the same kind of thing probably 3 or 4 times in the process of actually getting it onto the card. But it makes for a clean, clean card when I'm done, and it makes everything, where I want it. So the process is definitely tedious.
Mhm.
In the end, if I, stick to the process, I know I'll kind of end up with at least something that I'm happy with at the end. So
How long does it typically take you to do a card, or is it dependent on just how detailed it is?
sometimes it'll depend on the detail, because some people will just want a straight card recreation, which means like I just want a 52 mantle. So I pretty much know what I'm getting into with those particular cards. So there's not a lot of back and forth. There's not a lot of figuring out colors or certain things that some of the other card customers do get into.
Mhm.
So a lot of times those will go a lot faster. I do have people that want to mash stuff up, where they're like, I want the Mattingly image from this card, but I want the Mattingly card design from this year.
Yeah.
Can you put those together? And, that definitely is possible. And it takes a little more work because there's more elements you have to combine. So those take a little longer. But generally, from start to finish, probably a week and a half. And that includes probably talking to the people. There's quite a bit of correspondence that goes into these to just kind of figure everything out.
Yeah. Do you meet people and talk to them like kind of how we're doing right now, like on FaceTime or?
Definitely. Most of it is through messages. Although I always tell my customers I'm always happy to get on the phone, because a lot of the time it's just easier to describe more complicated projects that way. But if it's simpler, some people are just like, can I have a 52 mantle? And that's
common. That's one of your common asks.
I've done the 52 mantle probably 4 or 5 times. I want to say 4, but that's one of
What are your top 5 like that? I imagine that the bow. You get
the
after
52
the bow.
mantle. Honestly, I haven't had a ton of overlap.
Okay.
The Paul Skeens patch card.
Okay.
I've had a couple of requests for that one, and I've got that one. I've got one of those right here, because that's one of my newer ones. So that
look at that, Brent.
So that's the
that's so cool.
The skin. I don't know how
No, you can see. I'm probably not doing it justice, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, but
was that his auto on there?
It's my
patch
version.
auto, Brent. He's redoing the card, so that's dope.
Yeah, so it's so those are a little bit more straightforward, but that's probably the mantle and then the skeins, and then from there everybody has really been asking for completely different cards.
That's cool.
How many, do you have a backlog? I've
got I've been taking pretty good notes, and I've got a list of every card I've made in the order I've made it. I know who's gotten them. I think a lot of, I don't want these cards to become valuable in the sense that people want to sell them.
Yeah.
But I also want people to know that they're recorded, that they're keeping track of, like that it's not just like a mystery of whose card it is. I want people to know, like, I was in series 2, I got, a card before it got to series 4.
That's
I wanted, to have that kind of like record. So I definitely do keep pretty copious notes on all the cards and all the people.
Has there been one that you? Oh, go ahead.
Detail is a huge part of this as well.
I was gonna ask, was there any that you got asked to do that you ended up being like one of your favorites?
That's a great question, and I think just the nature of how I do these cards, they're all kind of like that.
Your children.
It's exciting because when people come to me, I have no idea what they're going to ask for, and that's exciting, and it's kind of terrifying at the same time, because you just never know what the request is going to be. And some people, like I'm doing a couple of cards this month where they booked their card project months ago. Wow. And I didn't know who I was going to actually draw until a couple of days before I drew it. So
wow,
it's a weird pressure that I kind of enjoy, and
I know what you're talking about.
But it comes with that kind of like that excitement, never knowing what somebody's going to reach out and ask for.
That's cool.
But yeah, so I kind of wrote down a list of some of my favorites, but like I said, they're all just so like. They're all really personal, because a lot of card artists they're making what they think is cool and they're putting it out there. And a lot of it is amazing work, but a lot of it is driven by that artist's vision.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the cards I'm working on come from, the people that want the card. They're like, I want that card. I want that card.
That memory.
I'm more guided by them. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes each card kind of super special in that way, because I'm getting to learn about the people, a little about their story. And some of these, cards are just really wild requests.
Is that a majority of your business is commissions?
Pretty much all of it. I had time to make one card, which was I called it the minimalist Mattingly card, where I just kind of drew a tiny Mattingly on a very white card.
That's cool.
Just drew like Yankees Don Mattingly. And that card sold to a very cool customer that I still work with quite a bit. But I really, I have so many requests coming in. I've had really almost no chance to do any personal work. Yeah. And I personally just enjoy the challenge of everybody's requests. So I kind of like it that way.
So if I was like, hey, I want you to draw me one, how long would it, am I like months away? Like
right now, my waiting list just hit a year long, which is
that's awesome.
Mind blowing to me.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. I started like 2023 in June. There was a Phillies game that went into a rain delay. And during that rain delay, the TV program, The Card Life, I'm not sure if you guys have seen that on, was hosted by Matt Strom. That came on. And I saw this card stuff, and that's what got me even re-interested in doing these. So 2023 is when the idea kind of got replanted in my head to even do these cards. So in between that time and now, it's just mind-blowing that my schedule has gotten to the point where it's a year waiting list. So
that's badass.
Yeah, it's been quite it's like a fast journey. It's a long journey, and when I've really started, but considering 2023 is when I kind of picked it back up, it's kind of like a rocket has gone on.
Will that all be series 3, or will that be when is your cutoff? Like, because that's what, roughly 52 cards, 54, because on your schedule roughly.
Yeah, 2023 till I think 2024. I can't remember. I can't remember when I started 2020 or when I think 20.
No, my thing is I'm going to get one, right? So I just was just curious in my mind.
Series 3 started in January of this last year, because I wanted to get on a track where because when I started doing these, it was like June, and then I was on the actual Card Life TV show in April. And that's when things started to really build up for me. And so Series 2 kind of ended in January. Series 3 started, and I'm hoping to just make every series 1 year long.
That's cool.
So next January, we're going to stop Series 3. Series 4 is going to start. And every, little certificate of authenticity that my wife makes to put in these all have the series number. They all have the card number, so everybody will be super clear on what they actually have. But yeah, it should be a year for every series, hopefully.
So I'll be in series 4. So I'm gonna be reaching out soon, man. So
nice.
I'm just kind of curious.
No, yeah, and I mean, I'd love to be. I it's like a struggle. I want to do them faster, but I also don't want to do them faster as well.
Saturation. You don't want to oversaturate it. It's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
I love the whole concept.
That's awesome that you're able to just create something and then, I don't know. It's pretty awesome.
Brent.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the whole
I mean, like we were talking a little bit earlier before we started recording, and like I used to be in that mind frame of wanting to like just be creative all the time, and that's what we did when we were younger, and just had to grow up and
paying them bills, Bubba.
That's right.
So life hits you, right? Everyone has a hobby to life.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. My wife works extremely hard. She has a really difficult job that's extremely stressful. And she really makes it possible for me to do all of this. So literally without her, I am, pressing a button somewhere. I'm probably doing art. We're not talking right now. It's really thanks to her that I'm even able to do this. So the fact that she helps me and even is a part of, like I said, the packaging, it's just even cooler. But I always give all the accolades to her for making it all possible.
Hey.
So yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's been really interesting. Ever since that show came out, it was wild to actually see the card life and have it inspire me to start making these cards again. And it was June when I saw the show, and by April of the next year, I was taping the show to be on it. So
full circle. So like, was it a cool moment when you got to watch your episode?
It was surreal. Yeah.
Did you do your little routine and then whatever you do it weekly or whatever, and then sit down and watch it?
Sitting,
pretty dope.
Yeah, sitting in the living room and watching me in my living room on actual TV. It was just crazy. It was a really amazing experience. I was able to tell my dad about it, my parents. They were able to see it. It was actually aired on Nessun, which is the big Red Sox channel. So they were actually able to see it and show their friends.
That's badass.
And
it aired on our local.
Yeah, it did.
It was. It's still on. Reruns will show up, and people will still reach out and say they saw me on the show. But literally, the second that show aired, I think the next day I had 10 or 20 people reaching out wanting to do a card. And it was kind of that moment where I decided I'm not going to say no to anybody. I'm just going to, just go for it and see how many of these I can actually do and see if it actually works. And it's been really awesome ever since then. I can't thank Matt and Brandon. Brandon was the producer that came over and actually shot the show with me. And those two were, I didn't actually get to meet Matt, which was a bummer because it would have been really cool. But he was super busy earlier in the day. And I think it was even a game day. So he had to head to the stadium. But just getting to do that with Brandon and just going through the process was amazing.
Was it a bunch of Teddy baseballs or what? What was the first wave? It was Teddy baseball, little Pedro, Pop.
The first wave of people was honestly, there was a guy that just wanted Harmon Killebrew cards. That's one of the first ones I can remember. He was a big Harmon Killebrew collector, and he just wanted something different.
That's cool.
And I gotta say, there's a lot of people that are collectors that want just something that have been kind of bouncing around their head. And then there's a bunch of my collectors that are just people that collect maybe one card, and they've just gotten to the point where they just want something completely new. And it's
the one-on-one.
It's cool that they get to be the one that's kind of in the driver's seat, because it's like a new card for their collection, but they're the one that kind of got it going.
Yeah,
that's cool.
No,
so
I think
a bunch of interesting collections right now.
I think too, like the timing of everything, like now with just social media and everything, like people have, or YouTube, they have the ability to just like absorb as much information they want about a subject, and there's a lot of people that are into cards and stuff right now, or just that favorite sports player that they grew up in, to be able to have a piece that's just its own one of one kind of.
I think that you're right. Having that one thing is really nice. What I thought about what I love about the art cards is that it's something like you can literally like take it off a wall. You can give it to somebody and they can touch it. Like you can't go up to an oil painting on the wall and kind of take it off and like hand it to your friend and be like, take a look at this. That'd be insane. But these cards, they're protected, so you can grab it. You don't have to worry about hurting it. But it's cool that it's so accessible. Like when you're done with it, you can hold it, you can give it to your friend, you can handle it. It's not, you don't put it somewhere and then you never touch it again, which is a really cool part of these. They're very tactile.
Those mounts are really awesome, by the way, and they look really nice.
Shout out to Actual Prints,
everybody over there.
Yeah, they're great. They don't give me anything for saying their name. I just love what they do.
Right here.
My wife uses them to make all the stickers for these. Yeah, nice. They make great stickers. So
all kinds of stuff, dude. Honestly,
she
loves to watch them grow.
Stickers. And they do an awesome job.
I
love that these cards, people can actually handle them and like touch them. It's really cool.
Have you done so like I've been this whole time, I'm in my mind, like which one we're going to go for. Amber got to do the last Luke. We have a few of Luke's, right? So with you, I think I want the Kobe and LeBron on the chrome. It's Kobe guarding LeBron. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's a famous card, very expensive if you can get the real one. But I'm like thinking in my mind, I'm like, that would be a nice little touch.
I love when people pick like cards that are just like those.
That's mine, dude. It's up there, but I can't be realistic with myself.
Yeah,
she would kill me.
Cards that you just can't get. But you can get them. You know, they're just.
No. I live with a CPA. She'll be having me out on the curb, man. So.
And I love basketball cards. I mean, I get probably 80% baseball requests, but I do get some basketball.
Have you done a Hakeem Olajuwon?
I did a Steph Curry recently. And other than that, I did the Jordan rookie card, which was something I've always wanted to do. I had a really heartwarming project that was a dad who went to a ton of college basketball games with his daughter. They were both big UConn fans. And before she went to college, she wanted to get her something that she could, bring to her dorm room that would kind of remind her of, those two and the basketball games they went to. So I did a Paige Beckers and a Breanna Stewart card for him. And I did the Paige Beckers. We did that in the style of a 1991 men's Fleer card.
I like that. Yeah.
And we did the Breanna Stewart as I think 2013 Topps Heritage baseball card style. So I love when I can even mix like a basketball player and put them in a baseball card design, or put a baseball player in a basketball card design. Some of those kind of mashups.
Now you're messing with me, because like the 3 cards, I told you that one. This is my all-time. I go one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, the bow,
right? And then this one, this is the first thing that came to my mind for you. I don't know, the Ricky, Ricky. In motion. I don't know, man. So like, but then I was like, man, in my mind this whole time. So have you did any of those 3 yet or no?
No, I've done Ricky. Your Ricky reminded me that I've done 3 different Rickies.
Okay.
All completely custom. One's for a guy, Ricky 939 on Instagram has one of them in his like massive Ricky Henderson collection. But yeah, Ricky is one of the people that people do reach out about quite a bit.
I love Ricky Henderson. It's those like in my mind. Run, Ricky, run, right?
That would be a cool one to illustrate, just because of the
motions,
the motion of that one.
There's a few from that year, and there's a bow that year, and a couple of, but then I think Nolan Ryan.
And there's Nolan Ryan,
right? The pitch.
I love the mashup idea. I think that was one of the first. I had a JD. One of the first cards that somebody reached out when I first started getting back into these was a JD Martinez card. And he was like, can I get a JD Martinez? But I want him as an 87 Donruss, and I want him to be wearing a Dodgers uniform. And that was the first person that reached out where I was like, wow, that we don't have to stick to cards that are already made. Like we can mix some stuff up. And ever since that card, I've just had some really interesting mashups, because people will see that and they'll think of their own mashup.
Right. Challenge accepted in my mind right now.
A lot of these cards kind of take on their own, snowball effect, and somebody will order one and somebody else will see one, and they'll kind of take that idea and bring it to a different level. And then somebody will see that one, and kind of that'll give them an idea. So it's wild, how one card can kind of snowball into so many different variations almost.
Have you done any soccer cards?
I have. The only soccer card that I've done so far is a guy. It was actually my first time mailing cards to Hawaii, and he actually wanted the Pele rookie card.
Yes.
But he wanted 3 versions of the exact same card.
Wow.
So I did 3 Pele rookie cards.
Did you set like a 1 to 3, like 2 or 3, 3 3, or was it all?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there was all 3 of them. I drew them all first and did black ink, and then I painted them one by one.
Wow.
I painted one, I put it away. I painted the next one. I tried not to let the one before it affect
influence the next. Yeah.
Because at one point I thought maybe I should just paint them kind of like face, hair. And just do like a little bit of each one, so they kind of followed a similar formula, and I decided to just kind of do them separately. But yeah, the only soccer card I did was actually 3 soccer cards of the same guy. Learned a lot about the Pele rookie card doing that.
Now I'll give you like some parameters like we did with Luke. So like the first 2, I let him full reign. but the last one, it was for Am's birthday, and it was like, hey, she has a Ken Griffey fan. All I want is a bubble. So that's kind of what I'm gonna let you run with, man. And then that gives you y'all's little creative side of it. That's kind of what I love.
Yeah, it's cool because some people come to me with like very fully realized idea. I even had a guy like almost like mock up a card in Photoshop and give it to me.
No, I want that on the right hand.
No, and I love it. I'm like, as specific as you want to be or as loose as you want to be, it works both ways. But I also love the challenge where like somebody will just be like, I want a Ken Griffey Jr., to
give you your parameter. Do you, man? I like your work. So that's kind of how we did with Luke.
Yeah, so that's fun. Luke is actually one of my first customers, and he's one of the people where I looked up to his work even before I started doing them again. And when he reached out and wanted to get a card from me, I was like, it was really, hit me.
There you go.
His work,
yours are badass, dude.
Really wild.
Don't shortchange yourself, man. You have some beautiful cards.
Thank you.
So do you ever go to like set up at shows or like do events
No, we actually thought about doing it. And my wife looked into getting a table at one of them, and they're really expensive. I got to say right off the bat.
Some of the big ones, some of the big ones are really expensive.
Yeah.
Because we do some pin shows where we sell the pins that I was telling you about, and you can get a table at a lot of like punk rock flea markets and places where those pins sell for, a rig. We were used to a couple of $100, $150 a table, and when I saw the sports card prices, it was definitely a little above that. Yeah. But I would love to actually kind of go to one and just sit at a table and do work and just kind of almost, have cards there, maybe just sell a little bit, but I'd love to just sit there and kind of do work and let people check it out.
When you would be there, would you just go like freestyle, kind of just freelance it right then and there, or how? Because you said the transfer. I'm just curious.
I'd probably do that. That's a great question, because a lot of the time what you see online is a lot of me painting.
Okay.
And the reason for that is out of all the steps I do, that's the one I've been able to kind of keep in the same spot. Like I can kind of keep the paper in one spot, keep the camera in one spot, and I kind of work around it. When I'm doing the drawing part, I've got to spin the paper. I've got to do so much movement.
Yeah.
I've recorded it before and it just looks terrible. Like it's small. It's just black, tiny lines.
Right.
It's visually just not interesting. So I decided if I'm going to videotape anything, let's do the part that's actually kind of interesting.
Comes to life.
Yeah. And the color part, it's more eye catching. And I can actually do it without moving the paper. Because regardless, anytime you try and photograph doing your work, it affects it somehow, either mentally because something is capturing everything you're doing, or it's just physically in between my face and what I'm working on. So it's never kind of pleasant to have in the way, but you also kind of need to show people like there's a human being doing this. I'm not just like printing, putting some prompts in and these watercolors are just kind of coming out of somewhere. I do want to show people that, there's a hand actually making this stuff.
We're all 3 men of beard. How do you keep the beard out of it at times, man? Because that's what my mind thinks. All three of us. So I'm like, this dude is talented. If he's painting and keeping it out, I can't even eat dinner and keep it out.
The magnifying glass, honestly, kind of helps keep it out of the way. I have a harder time getting my hand in the paint that I'm working on. And kind of moving that around, which hasn't happened nearly as much as it could. But the beard actually stays pretty clean.
Together. That's nice.
This is my third attempt at a large beard, and it's my best attempt so far.
How long are you at right now, roughly?
I don't know. I mean, I can get like a good 2 hands.
Am's cutting that. Am's now. I'd wake up to the 2 gone, man.
Mine was like
no,
here. Mine was. Oh, what am I doing with myself right here? Oh, my goodness. Let me try this again. Mine was like around here today, but I got it trimmed up a little bit today.
I was in a beard competition once, and it was when it was much shorter than this, but it was fun.
That's how they started. We started with a working argument started that someone couldn't grow facial hair. So we all just kept it. It's been like 13 years now, man. I've been keeping it update. So there's only a couple of us still around from that time, but yeah.
Yeah, I've always just had the beard, and I think that I started growing this during the COVID kind of lockdown, and I decided to just kind of leave it, and this is where it's at after that.
So I shaved my head completely bald with a razor during COVID because I don't know what was wrong with me, and then I shaved my beard off too.
Oh my gosh!
And so my kids didn't recognize me.
Who are you, sir?
What? And start crying and stuff like that. It was
you had a baby too.
Yeah.
I think in the last like 30 years, I've shaved maybe one time, and it was not good.
My wife has never seen me without this. So
my wife was like, "You got to grow a beard like today. You got to grow it back today."
It's a lot easier, I gotta say.
Dude, it is.
It is, yes.
Yeah, I'm at my max length at the moment.
That's cool.
But yeah, luckily I'm not getting in the way of the work.
It's coming. There you go, man.
So what's next? What's next for Mike Olson art over the next few years? Any plans for expanding or
I honestly I don't know,
branching out, new media?
I just want to. I'd love to be able to just kind of check. I'd love to do more cards that I haven't done. Weirdly, I wouldn't mind doing a Pokemon card. My wife
thought of that, dude, but that would be hard, right? That's on a whole nother level.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it could go either way.
I'm
willing to accept the challenge.
Nice.
My wife would love for me to do a Savannah Bananas card.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Those. But honestly, I would just love to kind of keep. I feel like I've just started kind of picking up momentum, and I would just like to kind of keep, doing cards for people.
Shit, you got a year and a half.
The normal answer that you'd expect to hear is like that I want to get a job at Topps, or I want to get a job working for some card company. And at the beginning, I thought maybe that was something to shoot for. And the more I've been working with people, the more, connecting with all these collectors has been a really big part of this. And I don't know if, doing it a different way would have the same kind of weight to it. So I really want to do another, at least a full year again of like jamming in as many cards as I possibly can. Because I feel like I'm just starting to get to a point where we're getting some really good ideas coming up. I've got a whole bunch of cards I haven't even shown on Instagram yet. I probably have because I've worked so far ahead. Putting them up takes a lot of work. There's a lot of video editing. There's a lot of photography. There's a lot of writing.
I know.
There's just so much that goes into the presentation part.
Yeah.
I've tried not to rush that part. So I'm sitting on, just so many cards that people haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
And some of them have just started turning out really nice. So I'd love to just kind of keep the momentum going and just hit as many different sports as possible. I was about to say I don't have any wrestling cards, but I just got a wrestling request. So I've got my first wrestling card. You just want to check off all the boxes at least and get all the sports,
Is it Hulk?
No.
Is it Stone Cold?
No.
Okay.
I would tell you, but
no Brent.
I can't give it away.
That's cool. My mind keeps going. There's a Project 70. You said you want to do a Pokemon. There's a Shohei project. That would be so. My ADDs keep going, bro. As long as we keep you on, I'm gonna keep changing. So I'm already on that one, and I'm like, hey, that would be but
it's funny. Me and my wife had a job back when Pokemon was, I think it first came out. We worked temp jobs in college, and they sent us to a dirty warehouse one day, and all we did was open up boxes of Pokemon cards, and then we sorted them all out, and then we repacked them in kind of clear blister packs.
Yeah.
And then they repackaged them and they resold them. So there was a point where I was probably handling thousands of dollars of Pokemon cards because they had first come out.
Do you remember like one of the coolest cards y'all pulled back then?
I don't even remember. To us, they were just like, what the hell are these things?
Yeah.
We did have the sense of knowing like, oh, these are the good cards. Like these look like good.
This looks way better than this.
Like I've seen this one about 1,000 times this week. So
it can't be valuable. The value is dropping every day.
we got to be the people that sorted all those out, but
that's cool.
So that was interesting. But yeah, I'd love to do some weird cards like that. Just to get some new requests.
I gotta wait a year. So
have you thought about though, like doing like a one-on-one card and like having it like in a top set or in upper
I mean,
deck?
that would be kind of cool. I gotta say, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you said the tops, the 70 thing, I do know that they had that series where they had like an artist do like one card, and I could see contributing something like that being cool. But
I heard that they were going to bring something back where they were going to try to bring different artists each year. So I don't know.
yeah, and believe me, if they reach out, I'd be happy to talk to them.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's really cool just meeting all these people. I mean, I've met just incredible amounts of people, from people that are just like collectors that they are just regular people, to people that I'm impressed that even reached out to me. I'm like, wow, this person reached out. Some really interesting folks I've met.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, that's part of the fun of it, is just kind of the mystery involved in these.
Cool, man. So if you could give one piece of advice to an inspiring artist looking to turn a hobby or a passion they had into a full-time creative pursuit, what would that be?
Man, I don't know. I'd say that, I think consistency really helps me. Just trying to be consistent and not getting too bogged down in work, trying to finish things, move on to the next project. I try not to set goals that are too lofty. And there's a Japanese term that I'm not quite sure off the top of my head what it is, but it roughly translates to just doing 1% better every time. So every time I do another card, I don't try and I don't want to hit the moon all the time. I just want to do a little bit better, and then a little bit better, and then a little bit better. And when I look at the cards that I did when I first started compared to the cards that I'm doing now, I mean, I can see a huge difference. The quality's better, the paint I'm using is better, the techniques I'm doing are better. But if I would have started out trying to go from there to what I'm doing now, it probably would have been a massive frustration for me. Mm-hmm. So I tried to just try and do a little bit better every time, and just kind of let that guide where the project goes. I mean, and at the end of the day, you have to really love what you're doing. I mean, I spend especially an artist is a job that, love it or not, requires a lot of solitude. You have to kind of be okay with being in a room by yourself, quietly working for hours at a time. Mm-hmm. And if you'd rather be out kind of at the bar or going to, play mini golf or something like that, it might, not be the thing that's going to work for you as a hobby that's going to turn into that next level. Yep. That's all I want to do is sit and just kind of work on my cards. And I don't know if that's insanity or what that is, but
I'm okay with it though.
Yeah, you really got to love what you're doing, and you got to love the subject matter. And I love baseball a lot, and my wife loves baseball, and the fact that we've been able to kind of connect on that level has been really amazing, and makes me want to keep doing it. Because a lot of times sports is kind of the cliche as it drives, couples apart, especially during football season or whatever. But we've managed to kind of use that, to kind of, work together, and we love doing it. So that's, you got to really love doing it. And, but I'd say consistency, and, I put stuff up on Instagram that I think is going to do awesome, and barely anybody sees it. And then the next week I'll put up something that I think is not that great, and it gets a huge response. So at the end of the day, you've got to just keep putting it up and not let, I don't know, the reaction of people or, get too focused in on, what metrics you're getting, and just stick to just I'm going to put up a card every week. I'm going to put up a card every week. I'm going to try and sell a card every month. I'm going to try and, and that consistency eventually, if you, put a lot of time into that, at least for me, I've been able to kind of use that momentum and keep kind of moving forward.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome advice. Do you have an inventory? So if people watch this and they're like, hey, let's go check this out, and they went and checked out your stuff, are they able to buy your pieces right now, or is it everything on a waiting list right now?
like I mentioned, when I started doing this in 2014, I did, 50 or 64 cards. And I've sold quite a bit of those, but I have, quite a bit of those 64 original cards left. So there are people that have asked, to take a look at that list of cards. I don't actually have that up anywhere because most people that do reach out want to kind of have that personal connection to their card. But there have been people that see some of the cards I put up and are like, I love Cal Ripken. I would love to have that card. Or I love Babe Ruth. Is that card for sale? And I definitely sell my first series of cards. And I have probably 40 to 50 of those left in varying states. But for the most part, it's been mostly commission based. But when people do want to take a look at that list, I do share it with them. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have it living anywhere.
Are they yours though? And are they like, are you?
Yeah,
well, I mean, what I'm saying though, are those yours? Those are yours. Like, I know that they're yours, but like, do you have a problem selling them? Like,
no, not at all.
I can imagine.
No. I'd make two. Like,
it's like I love these, and I do not want to ever get rid of these.
No, these are the only two. There's this guy, and these are the only two I don't get rid of. The Frank Thomas and the Jamie Moyer, because they are both signed.
Oh, that's cool.
They're pretty special.
Do you leave that box on all of them?
I do. Yeah.
So in hopes of maybe getting it, that's nice. Yeah. Okay.
So in case somebody wants to get it signed,
there's
definitely that space there. People have used that space for varying things. Somebody's going to order a card that wants to put some family inscription in there. But I like to leave at least some spot so that people have access to the card to do what they want with it. I've had people reach out just because they wanted to have a different card to have signed. Guy reached out and wanted a hockey card that he was in a couple months, he was going to go and have it signed by Miro Heiskanen from the Dallas Stars. And he just wanted to go there with something just unusual.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're definitely signable once you get them.
That's cool.
So we're approaching the hour, and so we usually try to keep these sessions around an hour or so. But we have some rapid fire questions that we usually try to spout out real quick and just get some answers.
Love it.
And so I don't know if you've ever been to Texas or down south and you've ever had Whataburger, but the first question is Whataburger or White Castle. I don't know if that's, or what is the burger joint, or is it a cheesesteak that you have out there, or what?
Regardless of what it is at the moment, I actually turned vegetarian 3 years ago. Okay. So my answer would be whatever the best fries are.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome.
My wife and I we love fries, but we did. I quit eating meat 3 years ago, and I quit alcohol 3 years ago.
Hey,
good for you.
Yeah, anything that has great fries, preferably crinkle cut.
Cool.
There you go.
Crinkle cut. Brahms has good crinkle cut fries, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you ever had Brahms, but that would be that'd be a recommendation. What's the last song you listened to?
The last song I listened to was this morning, and it was Fernando by ABBA. Okay. Because I put up a Fernando Valenzuela card, and every time I put something up, if you pay attention to the music, I link to it. I try to always make sure it has some sort of connection, whether it's the walk-up song, the walk-out song, maybe it's got the player's name in the song, but I always try and make that musical connection. So for better or worse, Fernando by ABBA.
Awesome. So when you are drawing, do you have music playing in the background? I mean,
I do not. I have tried to do that, and I found that I guess similar to like running, if you run and you listen to upbeat music, they tell you start running faster. If I listen to music and it starts to pick up, I'll notice myself drawing faster, and that can cause all sorts of problems. And when a song ends, having to switch it to another song, or it just like I lose focus. So a lot of the time I listen to white noise through my headphones. I get pretty in there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I'm basically just listening to static.
That's your static. Where the the dryer, the washing machine dryer. That's the one we go to. We have a little bed. Started with Cam. Now the thing's in my room at night. But I love it.
I have one of
those.
those.
Yeah, no, it helps me. Like I can, like I've got something I can hear, but it does not make me lose my focus. So yeah, white noise. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I didn't believe in it.
Weirdest commission request that you've had?
They're all kind of weird because I don't know what they're going to be until I actually, they ask me. So they're all, and in a way, they're weird. But I guess weird. I had somebody commission a Frank Thomas card, but they wanted the Frank Thomas card to be the Frank Thomas statue, and they wanted the statue to be from the rear. So they wanted to see the rear,
the big heart from the back.
Statue. And it actually, and they wanted it to be done. We did it kind of as a 1987 tops with the wood grain.
Yes,
it actually came out amazingly good. When I went into it, I was like, I don't know what this is going to look like. And by the time it was done, I was like, damn, it's a nice card. Really cool.
I thought you were gonna say the no name when we first said it. The card they missed his name, but that's dope. That's a whole different take.
But yeah, that I guess you could consider that a weird one. I got a request just a couple of weeks ago that as a card I haven't shown yet, but it was somebody wanted a Hollywood actress as a 1991 Fleer. In a couple of weeks, months, you'll get to see what that card is. But that was an interesting one for sure. And another one really good.
How do you find the rear view of Frank's statue though? That's what my mind.
There was a lot of these cards require a lot of research, and that one took a lot of research.
Imagine.
And just when I thought I found the best shot, I found out that there's not one Frank Thomas statue. There are two. There's one at Auburn University, and there's one at the White Sox Stadium. So I thought I found the back of the right one, and I was like, oh, that's not the right one. I found one picture of the back of the Frank Thomas statue, and I was able to kind of make that work.
There you go.
But yeah, that was definitely an interesting request for sure.
So what's one word what's one word to describe your art style?
I would say precise.
Okay.
I try and really go for precision without I want to strike a balance between being very precise, but also looking handmade. And, I used to really get down about any mistake I'd make. And a lot of the time now, if I see a line that's a little funny or, something that's not quite right, I don't let it bug me because it kind of shows more of the handmade quality. But other than that, precision, either the information that goes into it or finding just the right, image, like the Frank Thomas statue, really diving into the details. So I'd say precise is a good word.
Okay. And so this is the last question of our rapid fire round.
Cool.
But if you had 24 hours to relax and there was no drawing allowed, what are you doing?
I am in the middle of Mirror Lake in Lake Placid, probably paddleboarding with my wife, because that is our just special place. We went up to Lake Placid a couple years ago, and there's a place up there called Mirror Lake, and it's where they do the Ironman.
Okay.
And it's where they do the swimming portion of the Ironman. So it's just a beautiful lake up there. It's known for swimming, no motorboats allowed. It's pretty much a lake. When you go up there, you wake up in the morning and you see people swimming across it, people paddling across it. It's a really peaceful place, but it's the only place where we go where we'll go get in the water at 8 o'clock in the morning and not get out until almost 8 o'clock at night and just tire ourselves out.
So no alligators, right?
Oh no, it's
that movie back in the
it's
day.
Beautiful upstate New York, crystal clear water. No boats go in there, so the people up there really respect the heck out of that lake, and you don't see a single bit of trash when you go up there.
That's amazing.
It's an amazing place. Really, just one of our favorites. Yeah.
Well, Mike, we really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
thank you guys so much.
It was really great to just kind of get to know you a little bit and And so
it went super quick. I probably could have talked to you guys for another, hour, no problem.
We enjoyed it, man. Thank you.
No, thank you. Really, I appreciate it.
But if you get a chance, go check out Mike Olson Art.
Where can I find him?
You want to go ahead, plug your socials or anything?
I'm on just Instagram at Mike Olson Art, and I have my website is mikeolsonart.com. And right now, those are the two best places to find me. I have an YouTube channel where I put all the videos that are on Instagram.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
You can always search for me there, and that's where you can see all the videos. It's easier to kind of watch on a bigger screen if you like YouTube. So I put those up there.
Dope.
All right, man. Well, thanks again.
It was awesome to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
Later, bud.
This is Sweet Cards, dude.
Thank you so much.